shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand.
Hey friends, I'm Derek Washington. I'm back, and I got my mustache, and I feel good today, and everything's all right. Smoke a little of that weed. I'm feeling good. You can tell by my eyes how I look. Today I'm be doing animal noises. Hippopotamus. Let's see how hippopotamus. A zebra. Okay, alligator. Sloth.
Oh, do I smoke? I'm a chain smoker.
Mom, Emily's having her baby. Can you please come help me? I don't know what I'm doing. I got home from work today, and Emily shows me this. A pregnancy test she claims she took earlier today. She claims she's pregnant. She's showing already. I don't know if that pregnancy test is legit. I don't know why she would lie to me. She's never lied to me before. Emily's pregnant. That's all there is. Emily is pregnant. We are going to have another kid.
What do you think this is?
I think that it's a slave bracelet. I would like to think that my relatives helped to free the slaves, and that was one of the ones that they freed, or maybe they found. I think that this is the name of the slave holder and then the name of the slave underneath it.
It's a dog collar.
I've never really delivered a mannequin baby. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna have to try. Come on. Mom! Emily's having her baby. Can you please come help me? I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, the mannequin mom. She's having her baby. Hello? Mom? Damn it. Okay, Emily. Mom don't want to help. We're going to have to do this on our own. Push that little baby out. Emily, come on. Push. I can see it coming. You're probably going to need a little plastic surgery after this, Emily. Come on. We can do it.
Today we're taking infield. She's going to be playing for the Pirates this year.
Ooh, Christopher! Ooh. Oh, she got there.
Meth. The Meth Brothers. That's who they are. There's Captain Meth.
No, these are great guys. No, these are great guys though. I'm telling you, don't listen to me. These are great guys. Yeah, it's like Terrence Howard. Great guy. Yep. What he asked me to do every day before saying, great guy though. Great guy, great actor. Yeah. But guess what? I'm not a snitch. I'm not a Me Too'er. I'm not someone that's a money hungry lady. I know exactly what happened to me. Great guys. But listen, great actors, great artists. Great days, great thems. I mean, who knows anymore? Great demons. I don't know. Great shapeshifters. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hawaii Five-0. More great guys. Pretty much just one. Hey! Zipper face. Great guys. I don't know nothing about Clive Davis. I know that him and P. Diddy were boyfriends.
And then there's Paul Val. He's 40 from Davenport. He's married. He works at Disney World at Cosmic Ray's restaurant. In fact, he just recently moved to Polk County from Indiana, and he moved here specifically to work at Disney World. Well, you know, back in the day, they arrested Willie Sutton for robbing banks. He was a notorious bank robber. And they asked Willie Sutton, hey, Willie, why do you rob banks? And he said, well, that's where the money is. Well, why do people like Paul Val work at Disney? Because that's where the children are. And they want to be around children. He had 540 counts of child pornography from newborns to 8 years of age. He also had videos. And he was a sadomasochist. There was photographs where they had tied up babies in preparation for sexual battery. There was one where a child was just weeks old, where they had the child's hands tied behind her back. Can you believe that? A very young child with her hands tied behind her back. There's videos of a 3 to 6 month old being sexually battered by an adult male. His wife asked, she's only been married to him for a year, "Did I marry a monster?" Yes, you did. You married a monster. By the way, when we kicked the door in, he came to the door nude. Think about this for a minute. Photographs of children bound up, some with their hands tied behind their backs.
Epstein wasn't just raping girls, he was running a genetic program. At Zorro Ranch, he planned to breed dozens of children with his DNA, not to be a father, but to seed a ruling class. He called it improving humanity. This wasn't fantasy. He funded real scientists in CRISPR, synthetic biology, and obedience under trauma. Harvard, MIT, Stanford, all took the money. His victims weren't just abused, they were tracked, studied, and in some cases, disappeared. This was eugenics by blackmail, and the scientists were in on it. They let him bankroll the future and said nothing. Epstein wasn't the end of a crime. He was the beginning of a species upgrade program. And it didn't stop when he died.
We're not going to talk about what just happened in Alabama. We might as well talk about it because it's not even on CNN or Fox News or anything. Police there found a bunker in a house where multiple children were being held. The youngest was 3 years old. 4 men have been arrested. These kids were AR'd, they were drugged, they were beaten, they were trafficked, they were sold off to clients to do horrible things to them.
Go and research the word Cenomix, okay? Cenomix is a transnational company that creates flavor enhancement for products for transnational companies like Pepsi, Kraft, Nestle, Campbell's. And what they've been doing is that they grabbed kidney cells from human aborted fetuses. So they grab these kidney cell lines, las células sanguíneas de los riñones de bebés abortados, and in laboratory they replicate these cells and they put them in all your products. Lo ponen los productos. What products are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your Gatorade. Drink some aborted babies. Yes, seriously. We're talking about Lay's chips. Yeah, that's why they taste so good, don't they? Pepsi products, all right? Tropicana juices, Dasani water, Minute Maid. We have to not consume anything from these companies. And tell them that we're going to participate in their insane ritual.
There we go, there we go. I can see it now, we can get there. Okay, let's get this baby out and clean it up. It's a baby girl with 3 legs. Oh wait, never mind, it's a boy, 2 legs. He's blessed like his daddy. Daddy loves you. Looks just like me. I'm gonna clean him up and I'll show him off to you guys soon. As you know, I promised a bunch of people tonight that I'll be doing a baby reveal. So I'm going to keep my promise. I really hate putting my family on the internet. I like to keep a private life, like I said. I've said that time and time again. But here's my little baby. There he is. Look at him.
I want you guys to have a look at this and then tell me if you think that this was cut using modern machinery and technology. These stones have been cut and tuned to resonate certain frequencies. Now have a listen here. These are called the Sardinia Soundstones found in Italy. Apparently, all these were done by this man, Pinocchio Sciola. But I don't know, my intuition is telling me something else is going on here. What do you guys think about this? Very interesting.
Ever wonder why we've been told that we need on average 2,000 calories a day? Those numbers come from studies of people who were already sick, poisoned, and malnourished. Most nutritional guidelines were established between the early 1900s and 1970s. Starting in the early 1900s, an era when Coca-Cola had Coke, cigarettes were prescribed by doctors, mercury was given to teething babies, and radium water was sold as a health tonic. By the 40s and 50s, we were spraying kids with DDT, adding lead to our gasoline, and giving pregnant women drugs that were later proven to cause birth defects. These were the average people studied to understand the basic nutritional needs of a human being. I have been on a journey of reclamation of sovereignty in my body that began with the reparation of my gut. I eat less than the recommended daily intake and feel more nourished than ever. I have come to deeply understand my body, my hunger signals, hungriness versus emptiness, emotional cravings, parasitic fungal cravings. I have a much deeper understanding of what I need and a much deeper relationship with my body. But I did have to go through a journey to get here. Quantity is not nearly as important as absorption and efficiency of the body. Most people today are overfed but starving at the cellular level. This is not a recommendation to start eating less food. We must unravel the knots, heal the gut, open the detox pathways, restore hormone balance, eliminate those toxins from the body that we were never designed to process in the first place. But then the body can actually use what we give it. Two people can eat the same calorie load, but if one is utilizing 90% of it and the other is only utilizing 20% of it, then we're left with a huge gap where the body has to eliminate all this excess waste. Even worse if it's from a huge calorie intake of processed food, which is not food. Today, the U.S. has over 84,000 chemicals in circulation, and only 1% of them have been tested for safety. Scientists recently found more than 3,600 chemicals from food packaging and kitchenware inside our bodies, including dozens of known carcinogens and endocrine disruptors. We apply hundreds more through cosmetics every day, breathe them in the air, drink them in the water. So when we talk about requirements for calories or proteins, remember that this belief system is based on an era of radium tonics, lead paint, and cigarette prescriptions, and we are still swimming in unregulated chemicals today. This is why the conversation has to shift from how much to how clean, how absorbable, how efficient is the body. It's time we question not just what we need, but where those requirements even came from.
This is a Clabber milk jar that I haven't washed for more than 2 years. It contains the vaginal cultures of 2 females and 1 female's breast milk. I don't wash it. I leave a little bit behind so the bacteria can ferment the next batch. And this is some older milk I have. Bacteria loves to feed off sugar. So put some raw honey in your mouth, raw milk, and then spit it out in the back. The spit from your mouth will help it ferment properly. Spit is a great fermenting tool. Then you put a cloth or a loosely fitted lid on top. Then you put it someplace room temperature, dark for about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 days. I just put that in yesterday. So the milk clabbered on me, but it did it way too fast. I don't like when this happens. I don't know if it's been 3 or 4 days, but the cultures that put in there are so powerful now that they just make it separate too fast. Now usually this happens when it's a real hot place and it wasn't even hot. But I don't like when it separates like this. The top now is like the best quality sour cream. Separated the sour cream. Hear that gas? That gas buildup? So now this is clabbered milk. And if you like kefir, yogurt, that's what it tastes like. Like us Serbians like to drink sour milk, Middle Eastern people, and this is the best quality tasting sour cream, kefir you could drink. But it's called clabbered milk. It's the oldest method of fermenting milk. Oh God, that's delicious.
Hamster. Kangaroo. Llama. A cat. A horse.
Let's have a talk. What if your Uber driver told you he not only worked with but influenced Michael Jackson? Would you believe him? That's exactly what happened in 2015 when a young man was picked up in an Uber by a driver named Alfonso Jones. In a slight turn of events, when some Michael Jackson came on the radio, the driver told the passenger to Google him and that Michael Jackson stole his album cover. Okay, I get it. Twin Jerry curls, the laying on your side 1980s is about to be fire album pose. But I mean, come on, Teddy Pendergrass did it before everybody. Okay, album covers are similar, but what does this guy sound like? Let's take a listen, and in part 2, we'll get to know Alfonso Jones.
The fight of the century. Jack Johnson defeated no one thought it would happen. Jim Jeffries, and there were riots all across the country, white on black riots. The Los Angeles Times wrote their lead editorial was "A word to the black man: do not lift your chest up too high. Do not put your face up to the sun. You are still the same lowly person you were yesterday, just because Jack Johnson." And I mean, the idea that it goes back to this issue. Washington knew it was wrong. Jefferson knew it was wrong. They made so much money. It was really hard to do this. I mean, Jefferson himself said, slavery is like holding a wolf by the ears. You don't like it, but you don't dare let it go. Right? They would not let another black man fight for a heavyweight champion until he was not Jack Johnson. That is to say, until he was Joe Louis, light-skinned, couldn't be seen with a white woman, couldn't smile at his victories. And Louis agreed to all of this. It was the unspoken, unwritten rule that you couldn't be an in-your-face black man. And that sort of obtained for a couple of decades. And then Ali came and he said,
broke the mold.
Broke the mold. And essentially based it. They used to say when he was training, Ali was training, there'd be ghost in the house. Ghost in the house. And that meant that Jack Johnson was there.
And for them not to give you food and water because you're black on the roof, man, that's a hard pill to swallow. The helicopter would fly over us and read the little thing and fly up. They're like, oh, they come and get us. But then they flew over me for a couple of days reading my sign on the roof and they wasn't trying to do anything. But I saw them rescue all the white people at the building behind the American camp. I said, man, hopefully I'm not right, but let's get all the black people off the roof. All the white people in the wheelchairs on the top of the roof. I said, I hope I'm not right. 15 minutes later, gave me whatever I need. 15 minutes. I said, man, I got 60 elderly right now. If we don't get them out here, it's gonna be a morgue in here. So they lifted off the roof. The people who were able to walk around or whatever, I shuttled them to the bayou where the helicopters were picking people up. I didn't do it by myself. I had 12 people that helped me get all this together. And I didn't know I was gonna have to organize this rescue and make it happen. But I wound up evacuating and helping 244 people get rescued out the American camp.
John Kell, I can't say enough about that brother. He could do it all.
They dropped a bomb. They dropped a bomb on the Western Sudan airport. Not a single word being said in the media. Not one media coverage. Not one headline have I seen yet. People stay silent, even black people. Black people, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. Maybe if we fought so hard for our own, we would be doing a lot better, wouldn't we? But no, here we are. But they dropped a bomb. Children, yeah, Jemana, children are suffering. Children are in the mix of all this.
As I said before, the Orisha, which is the Yoruba term for the spirits, some call the gods, the Abasom, the Twi word, the Vodun, which is the Fon word from ancient Dahomey. These are all characteristics of the one creative principle. That is, it is the way that one spiritual force manifests itself in the universe. And that happens in many ways. So that the African is able to relate to the many different ways in which that force is manifested in the universe. The Europeans took that, and as a form of cultural imperialism, they said, we are going to call that polytheism. And we are going to say that we have a superior concept, monotheism. And we're going to say that people who believe in polytheism are backward and are primitive.
Do I believe in God? Well, that's no fun. Hey, what are you doing down there? Judging every move I make? Absolutely not. No. He'd tear me to shreds.
Elephant. A duck. Quack, 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 quack. Tremolon. Looks like my head. Starfish. An owl. Hoot, hoot, hoot. An owl. This is an owl. Hoot, 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 hoot. Hooty, 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 hoot. Who the hell did that?
Looks as if they're in danger. They get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be. Three and a half minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket. They find themselves in a totally rubber room, walls and floors, and they head for safety through a 6-inch steel door. Once they're behind that door, it doesn't matter what comes down this tube behind them.
In 1986, the shuttle Challenger exploded about 74 seconds after takeoff, killing all 7 astronauts inside. Or did it? It turns out that 6 of the 7 are still alive and kicking today. Ellison Onizuka claims to be his identical twin brother, Claude. The Challenger pilot, Mickey Smith, hasn't even bothered changing his name. He's now Professor Michael J. Smith of University of Wisconsin. Now, Christa McAuliffe was a bit of a sneaky one. She was the Challenger payload specialist, quite famous for being a teacher. It turns out during her astronaut days she was using her middle name, Christa, and now she goes by her first name, Sharon, and she's a Syracuse law professor. The Challenger commander, Francis Richard Scobie, is now Dick Scobie, which sounds like a rather unpleasant disease, CEO of Cows in Trees Limited. Judith Resnick, the Challenger mission specialist, again hasn't even bothered changing her name. She's a professor at Yale Law. And finally, Ronald McNair, another Challenger mission specialist, claims to be his identical twin brother, Carl McNair.
Then, as Rabin was leaving, that's him coming down the ramp. The man in the blue t-shirt approached. 3 shots from behind.
The Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, the architect of the Middle East peace process, has been assassinated.
The assassin, a right-wing Israeli Jew, Yigal Amir.
Truly shocking news from the Middle East tonight. Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin has been assassinated.
Evening spent dreaming of peace turns into a national nightmare.
Outside the hospital, the crowd began to chant, "Bibi is a murderer." The sign says, "Bibi, Rabin's blood is on your hands."
An assassin has taken yet another world leader away from us. It was just after the biggest peace rally in Tel Aviv.
Rabin's widow blamed Netanyahu for contributing to her husband's death.
Yitzhak Rabin has also produced shock in the Palestinian community.
And said so on worldwide television.
Your husband pointed the finger at Mr. Netanyahu and said, "You must stop this incitement."
You're saying that children in Gaza are being shot by snipers.
Definitively. I have 2 children that I have photographs of that were shot so perfectly in the chest I couldn't put my stethoscope over their heart more accurately, and directly on the side of the head. in the same child. No toddler gets shot twice by mistake by the world's best sniper. And they're dead center shots. All of the disasters I've seen combined, 40 mission trips, 30 years, ground zero, earthquakes, all of that combined doesn't equal the level of carnage that I saw against civilians in just my first week in Gaza.
And when you say civilians, is it mostly children?
Almost exclusively children. I've never seen that before. Never seen that. I've seen more incinerated children than I've ever seen in my entire life combined. I've seen more shredded children in just the first week.
Shredded?
Shredded.
What do you mean?
Missing body parts, being crushed by buildings, the greatest majority, or bomb explosions, the next greatest majority. We've taken shrapnel as big as my thumb out of 8-year-olds, and then there's sniper bullets. I had children that were shot twice.
The dots just keep connecting. The other day I posted a video how Kris Jenner accidentally leaked $5 million Basquiat painting in Kim's home. It was pictured right over her daughter's head, and this was a painting by Basquiat. I had found an article stating that she purchased it for $4.9 million from Christie's auction house. We ended up finding out that the owners of Christie's auction house are none other than Salma Hayek and her husband, Henry Pinault, who just so happens to be the founder and CEO of Kering, Balenciaga's sister company. Now, if you're curious as to what Salma Hayek and her husband Henry sell on Christie's auction house, please feel free to visit the website. Enter in Jake and Dino Chapman and go under the tab Sold. For those of you watching this video, I highly suggest that you research what is being sold before commenting. And it is this bad. But that's not all Salma Hayek and Henry own. They also are the majority stakeholders for the CAA. And if you're wondering what the CAA is, it's a talent agency. It's a Los Angeles-based agency that represents actors, directors, writers, and music artists. Those artists include Tom Hanks.
You know how it is. Nothing. This is what I do when we talk about it, and it's no big deal. And I'm not a rocket scientist, and I don't have state secrets that I have to keep from everybody, and all the other stuff.
And there aren't demons that...
Well, I think that's actually part of it, too, because they expect demons. They expect some terrible thing, some drive, some bad side to say. Otherwise, how would I get to be in this position that I am now? Obviously, something very, very deep and some psychological thing makes him go off and do this as a job in the first place. And that's not really it.
What is it?
It's because it's fun, and because I think I'm pretty good at it, too. It's because I get the job done. I deliver the goods, which is what a bricklayer does when he's hired to lay brick.
Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, among many others. And what's also interesting is I found this article about former President Joe Biden, who resigned from the creative arts agency that represented him from 2017 to 2020. The move suggests that he may pursue new projects in media, speaking engagements, or publishing. Now, I find it extremely odd that a talent agency would be managing the President of the United States. But maybe it kind of explains why Hollywood and politics are so intertwined. Also, one more thing, this was the same agency that was managing Justin Bieber. But he fired the CAA as his agency. This was part of a larger house cleaning that the couple undertook after Bieber's health issues and canceled tour. He then hired Lou Taylor, who we know was a part of a Britney Spears conservatorship, and she was also in the inbox of Amanda Bynes and Lindsay Lohan as well. But what happens to him after he's managed by the woman who siphoned millions of dollars from Britney Spears? He ended up selling his music rights for $200 million. What are the odds of that? And I also found it odd how it said Bieber and Hailey made these decisions. Something ain't right here.
Who the hell did that?